What happens when an old-school enforcer meets a coach who refuses to let raw talent go to waste? Sometimes, the collision creates fireworks that threaten to tear everything apart. Other times, it forges something beautiful, something stronger than either could achieve alone. For Arber Xhekaj and Martin St. Louis, their rocky journey from conflict to connection tells one of the most compelling development stories in recent Montreal Canadiens history. Just over a year ago, the relationship between Xhekaj and St. Louis looked like it might implode spectacularly. The young defenseman, nicknamed the Sheriff by adoring Montreal fans, seemed caught between his natural fighting instincts and his coach's vision of what he could become. St. Louis wasn't shy about calling out Xhekaj's inconsistencies publicly, creating tension that had trade rumors swirling around the 24-year-old bruiser. Fast forward to today, and Xhekaj's description of their relationship reveals a dramatic transformation that speaks volumes about both men's character. "He treats me like I'm his son," Xhekaj recently told Sportsnet's Eric Engels, words that carry profound weight when you consider where they started. This isn't just coach speak or media-friendly sound bites. This represents a fundamental shift in how two strong-willed individuals learn to channel their intensity toward the same goal. The evolution didn't happen overnight, and it certainly wasn't painless. St. Louis admitted to being tough on Xhekaj, but the young defenseman has come to understand that this toughness stems from belief, not disappointment. "He definitely is hard on me sometimes because he knows what I can be and do, and he wants that so badly for me," Xhekaj explained, revealing the deeper psychology behind their dynamic. Looking at Xhekaj's 2023-24 season statistics provides context for why St. Louis pushed so hard. The defenseman played a career-high 70 games, recording 1 goal and 6 points, while accumulating 180 penalty minutes and 118 penalty minutes. That -13 rating tells the story of a player still learning to balance his physical presence with defensive responsibility. But statistics never capture the full picture of a player's development, especially one as unique as Xhekaj. His journey from undrafted free agent to NHL regular represents one of hockey's great underdog stories, and St. Louis recognized that raw potential needed careful cultivation, not just encouragement. The coach's approach required walking a delicate tightrope. Push too hard, and you risk breaking a young player's confidence. Don't push hard enough, and that player never reaches their ceiling. St. Louis chose the difficult path of demanding excellence while providing the support structure necessary for growth. St. Louis has been adamant about expanding how people view Xhekaj's capabilities. "He can do much more than fight," the coach emphasized during a June appearance on the Missing Curfew podcast. "People call him the Sheriff in Montreal. He's really good at that, but there are many other things he's good at too." This perspective shift represents the crux of Xhekaj's development challenge. Montreal fans love his willingness to drop the gloves and defend teammates, but St. Louis saw untapped potential in other areas of his game. The coach worked to help Xhekaj understand that effective defense isn't always about delivering the biggest hit or winning every fight. The breakthrough came when Xhekaj learned to read plays more effectively, positioning himself strategically rather than constantly hunting for contact. When he came up, he felt like he had to do that, but we tried to remind him that it's part of the game, but you also need to play the game that's in front of you, St. Louis explained. This evolution required Xhekaj to trust his coach's vision even when it felt counterintuitive to his natural instincts. For a player who built his reputation on physical intimidation, learning to pick his spots required immense mental discipline and faith in the development process. What makes the Xhekaj-St. Louis relationship particularly fascinating is how it demonstrates the power of authentic, tough love in professional sports. St. Louis didn't soften his approach to spare Xhekaj's feelings, but he also didn't crush the young player's spirit with mindless criticism. "Obviously, he's going to be hard on me sometimes, and sometimes he's going to praise me. We have a very strong bond," Xhekaj noted, highlighting the balance that makes their relationship work. This isn't a coach who only criticizes or only encourages. It's someone who has learned to calibrate his approach based on what each moment requires. The father-son dynamic Xhekaj describes suggests something deeper than typical coach-player relationships. St. Louis has taken personal responsibility for Xhekaj's development, viewing the young defenseman's success or failure as a reflection of his own coaching effectiveness. This personal investment creates accountability on both sides. Xhekaj can't dismiss criticism as unfair when he knows it comes from genuine care, and St. Louis can't give up on his player when he's made such a personal commitment to the development process. The transformation of this relationship offers valuable insights that extend far beyond hockey rinks. In any mentor-mentee dynamic, the most meaningful growth often occurs when both parties are willing to endure temporary discomfort for long-term benefit. St. Louis could have taken the easier path of simply accepting Xhekaj as a one-dimensional enforcer, using him in limited situations without pushing for broader development. Instead, he chose the more challenging route of helping a young man discover capabilities he didn't know he possessed. Similarly, Xhekaj could have resisted change, clinging to the identity that got him to the NHL in the first place. His willingness to embrace criticism and adapt his approach demonstrates the mental toughness that goes beyond physical confrontation. Entering the final year of his two-year, $2.6 million contract, Xhekaj faces the ultimate test of whether this development has created lasting change. Contract years can reveal a player's true character. Some rise to the challenge, while others crumble under pressure. The foundation that St. Louis and Xhekaj have built suggests the young defenseman is positioned for success. Having learned to channel his intensity more effectively while maintaining his physical edge, Xhekaj enters 2024-25 with tools he didn't possess just 2 seasons ago. More importantly, he enters with the confidence that comes from having a coach who believes in his potential and isn't afraid to push him toward it. That kind of support system often makes the difference between players who plateau and those who continue ascending. As the Canadiens prepare for the upcoming season, the Xhekaj-St. Louis relationship stands as a testament to what's possible when stubbornness meets strategy, when tough love meets genuine care. Their journey from friction to family demonstrates that the most meaningful development often requires navigating difficult conversations and uncomfortable truths. For Montreal fans, watching this relationship evolve provides hope for the organization's broader development philosophy. If St. Louis can unlock hidden potential in a player like Xhekaj, what might be possible with other young talents in the system? The sheriff's badge isn't disappearing. Xhekaj will always be willing to answer the bell when teammates need protection. But now that badge represents something more complex, more complete. It represents a player who has learned to be selectively aggressive, strategically physical, and increasingly valuable in ways that don't always show up in penalty minutes. Sometimes the best stories in hockey aren't about goals or saves. They're about relationships that transform both people involved. What other player-coach dynamics in your favorite sport have surprised you with their evolution? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if the story of growth and mentorship resonated with you, hit that like button to let us know you appreciate these deeper looks into what makes hockey relationships truly special.